Okay, so for the two people watching, you will be wondering, what is this? I'm not talking about this, I'm talking about this. What is this? This is a Morphic. So, see? This is a Nordic ID Morphic. So, at first glance, it gives you kind of an impression, maybe, what it probably is. This is a barcode scanner. So it's a barcode scanner phone. So it has GSM capability within it. It has a SIM card slot. Now, it is only 2G compatible though. This thing is an earlier model, so it only has 2G. Later models came with 3G though. So the thing is that yeah, it's a tiny device. It's a tiny device. It's not as tiny as an actual cell phone from the time period, but it is kind of tiny though. You will see it has a 2D scan engine. I think it's actually focusing, right? Yeah. So, yeah, if I were to pull out a comparison piece, this is a cell phone. Okay, this is an old ass Motorola, right? And if I were to put it, see, it is a lot more smaller, it's a lot more thinner, even though it is kind of thick, and it's a lot more lighter than compared to the Morphic. So the Morphic actually does morph. You'll see that is the desktop right there. So if I were to launch a quick, let me go here. So, you know, this thing runs CE. Now CE is nothing all interesting. It's you know, everyone has seen CE, so yeah, see there's the WordPad. Okay. So if I were to scan the barcode that was on this hard drive that didn't want to work yesterday, you'll see it scans. And since it is omnidirectional because of the imager, I don't need to scan in the direction perpendicular to the barcode. So I can scan it in this way, and it's still gonna scan. So if I were to scan a 2D code, 2D code, what would be one? Like this one. Should scan. There we go. I think you can see it. Yeah, you see? Yeah, you see it scanned it. That is the 2D code. So yeah, that's essentially very quick with the Morphic. You see the Morphic is actually morphing this time. It actually wants to cooperate. So that's nice. You know, you can see it's a very simple exterior. You know, it has a hand strap, the stylus, and then your little tether. These will be the contacts for the cradle. That's where your separate jack is. That's what I use to charge it since I don't have the cradle. And obviously I showed it before, that is your scan engine right there. So this thing uses an Adaptus imager. So it's a very common one. That's where your speaker is. And yeah, you know, it's a very simple device. You can see the keypad is obviously very simple. These will be your send and end keys. This is your directional pad, obviously scan button. Then these are your function keys. So that's your tab, alt, function, your numeric, backspace, and then power. So it's a very simple keypad. These also double as enter and backspace when it's not in phone mode. And you will see that unlike other CE devices, this thing does actually carry a bit of persistency. So this is the shutdown menu right here. So you got sleep, warm boot, cold boot, reload Windows CE, and then a power off. A power off option being something you don't really see in Windows CE devices because you technically cannot power off these devices. This thing does have the ability to do so. So Nordic ID at least added that. So yeah, I mean, it has very basic specifications. If I go over here, my device, it has a Freescale IMX31, 128 megabytes of RAM. See, that's where you're able to change your memory, device name, and that's your programs right there. Yeah, you know, it's a very simple, really. You got your control panel, all the stuff. But yeah, I mean, this thing can go to the internet. I have it connected to the internet. I can try and access a website here. Shit. Slowly loading. In fact, I don't even think it might access it because Google no longer works. I mean, yeah, I mean, it can connect, but there are literally no websites that support CE anymore. They're almost all gone. But yeah. Obviously this tap switcher, as I can bring up there. There you go. So it's a very kind of simplistic handheld. More simpler than compared to the others I own. It's not over the top. See, there's the wallpaper. Why is it called the Morphic? I have no idea. Don't even fucking ask me, but see? So, there we go. Now suspended. So that is the Morphic. It's a very simple handheld, very simple CE handheld. Yeah, now it seems to want to cooperate. Before it didn't want to, but now it wants to. So, yeah.